We're getting closer and closer to game week. We're almost here, week 1 versus North Dakota State. So in this video, we're going through the keys to victory, Buffington Prime's keys to victory to beat North Dakota State. And I promise you guys gonna definitely want to see this.
Well, hello, who's next? Can't nobody stop us cause we Buffington Prime. Well, hello, who's next? Are you capping, talking sauce, and do your words match your video? Well, hello, who's next? Can't nobody stop us cause we Buffington Prime.
Salute, welcome world or Patreon. Hey, it's guys Buffington Prime, CT the fan, T Cal. Boy, T Cal about to break down the gumbo for us. We going to the North Dakota State.
CT, give them your quick feel on North Dakota State going in, how you feel the game's gonna go, and then we'll get into these keys to victory on it.
So everybody know North Dakota State. They got a new head coach from Wyoming. He's coming in. I was doing some research on him. He said he plays aggressive. He likes to use the whole field. He wants to attack with the whole field. And I knew he was going to be different because when we did the original breakdown and we learned about that backup quarterback, he said every time he come in, he gonna run the ball.
He gonna run that thing.
So this coach said, "Hey, I know people on to that. So now we're gonna move him like Taysom Hill. We're gonna have him on the field, even if he's just as a distraction, as a decoy,
It's
and
smart.
then smart, right? Because he's like, I don't want people to say, oh, okay, he's in, they know what they're gonna do. And then that makes me think about all the stuff you always be telling us. You be like, hey, bro, they watching, and then they're gonna see it. Okay, when they run a play, it's sometimes usually to set up this play later, or they're gonna come right back to it. They just trying to see how the defense is gonna respond. And this new head coach, he brings in a ton of motion. At Wyoming, they move, and that's what they're trying to do, trying to get the defense to show what
they're in, trying to get
what they're in, right?
Exactly.
So, but then it goes back. I think about the quarterback. We talking about getting the ball down the field, and then that electric receiver they got. And then you told me the second receiver is faster than him. So I'm like, hey, they got a lot of speed, but that lot of speed doesn't really correlate with that quarterback taking them long shots. So I think, if our defensive line could get after him, bro, we're going to be great. But there's another thing I found out. The defensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator, this is going to be his first year as a defensive coordinator. He was the linebacker coach last season. And before that, he was a graduate assistant. So he's taking on a big leap. And just for everybody know, if you don't know, the head coach of North Dakota State left North Dakota to go be the linebacker coach at USC. So I don't know. To me, that's
wasn't he the current you're talking about Matt Entz?
Yeah, the one that
last one.
The last one. He's going to be the linebacker coach. He went from head coach and national title guy to linebacker coach at USC. So, and it doesn't say linebacker / defensive coordinator. I mean, so I don't know what, everybody USC is all jumping around. But so
it's weird.
I like the fact that they got this young, never called a defense coordinator going to be playing against Colorado, Pat Shadur. I think, man, I realized I got to take over. I got to take 50-something points. I just think the offense is going. I think Prime is going to dictate how many points we going to score, pretty much. Like, when it's enough, it's going to be enough. So I'm actually more confident. But now, this is my first deep dive. So, look, I'm going to be glued in like everybody else. Glad you guys made it in Patreon. Talk to us, DK.
So, this is a Patreon private live. So, he does have another title, Assistant Head Coach for Defense. I've never heard of that in my life. I've never. That's strange. I did not know that. That's strange. But so we are going to get to the keys to victory versus North Dakota State. So y'all might know me as a film guy, but I'm actually very analytical as far as numbers, seeing patterns, things like that. So I took a look at a lot of things, broke them down, and these are our keys to victory. If you guys see Coach Prime and the coaching staff saying some of these same things, it's not because they watched us. It's because I know what I'm talking about, and it's the same type of stuff.
Cal knows.
Remember, it is what's today? It's August 2nd. This came out August 2nd. So anything you see after this, just know what was said first. All right. So we're going to start with number 1, and that is winning time of possession. So North Dakota State, and we're going to talk about Wyoming as well in here, since Wyoming was where the last coach was, his offense coordinator. But they control the clock. So why time of possession is important? Time of possession is important, especially against a team like Colorado, because my goal on offense is to keep your offense off the field. I don't care. Go ahead.
Is it like doubling down on defense, right? It's kind of like using your offense to play defense. All right, got
it. If you have a high-powered offense, the easiest way to negate that is not allow you on the field.
Right.
And when you do that, it can cause issues for high-powered offenses because you got games. So think of high-scoring football games, like 50-49 or something like that. These offenses may get the ball. They may have 15, 20, 25 drives in one game, right?
Right.
So now if we take the time of possession and we dominate that, now give that offense 8 possessions in a game. So now you're not getting as many opportunities to score. And if you're not getting many opportunities, that's going to make you play out of your comfort zone. It's going to make you try to force it more than, if we get stopped early in the game and we know it's going to be a high scoring game, hey, we're going to get a bunch of chances. If you get stopped and it's really hard for you to get, it's coming at a premium to get possessions in the first place, then it's like, hey, now we're all playing with more pressure under us. Now we're like trying to force plays instead of letting it come naturally. So that's why winning time of possession is extremely important, controlling the clock. And part of the way you do that is running the ball effectively. Running the ball effectively, letting time run off, and keeping your offense on the field.
Right.
Not giving their team, the chance to get the ball. Then we actually, for my coach in college, we had to scream this on third downs, and it was get off the field. Every single third down, you see the defense, get off the field, get off the field. Third downs, you have to get off the field. And what that means is stopping them on third down and forcing them to punt. If you continue to let them convert third downs and make longer and longer drives, it wears down your defense and it allows them to have the ball for a lot longer.
So that means be disciplined, no stupid penalties, right? Like, hey, don't get the stop, but then you got a holding call or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta be disciplined. Gotta be disciplined. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? And so getting off the field, gotta be able to get off the field on third downs. Incredibly important because you want to limit not just North Dakota State's possessions, but you want to limit how long they are. So a shorter drive, so you're getting more opportunities. Not turning the ball over. We cannot turn the ball over against teams like this because they're going to try to run the clock. They're going to try to take as much time as possible. So have to take care of the football. So we got some stats to back up this key to victory. And that is North Dakota State lost time of possession 2 times last year, meaning the other team had the ball longer than they did. One was a loss, and the other one was a win in overtime. 2 of their 3 lowest times of possession, as far as the margins, were also losses. The only one that didn't result in a loss was South Dakota. And that's showing that there's a pattern as far as how long you have the ball, how successful that it correlates to wins. There's a ton of stats that you can look at and see how they correlate with wins or losses based on how good they are. Third down conversions is one of them. We're getting ready to talk about another one. Time of possession is one of them. Turnover margin is another main one. This is the big one. So we got red zone efficiency. So last year, North Dakota State, they had a 94% red zone efficiency, meaning it's efficient, right?
Yes. My God. That is crazy efficient, bro.
Very efficient. So what the red zone is, it's when you're within 20 yards of the end zone. So that's what's called the red zone. And the reason this is a stat that people keep is because it's seeing, hey, when you get close to the end zone, how often do you put points on the board? Not just touchdowns, but points on the board. So there were 65 out of 69. Fantastic. 31 rushing touchdowns, 16 passing touchdowns, 18 field goals. As you see, they score a lot with runs in the red zone. Now, defensively, they were 34 of 38 as far as their opponents. And that means the opponents had 89% red zone efficiency, which is high as well. So they're giving up
they
a
gonna
lot
give
of
us
touchdowns.
Some points. Okay, God, thank God.
20 rushes, 12 passes, 14 field goals. All 4 of their losses last year, they were held to 2 touchdowns in the red zone. Only 2 of their wins out of all of their wins had 2 red zone touchdowns. So majority of their wins were getting more than 2 touchdowns in the red zone. So it's important to be able to stop them from stop them from scoring touchdowns in the red zone, but along with that, stop them from getting in the red zone in the first place so that they don't get these opportunities. Because as you see, if they score 2 touchdowns or lower in the red zones, they did that every time they lost. So that's a pattern that we could check out.
Defense.
Wyoming. So talk about North Dakota State. Now let's talk about Wyoming's offense. 35 of 40, 87%. That's still a really good red zone percentage. That means they're still putting points on the board. And 4 losses, 3 out of the 4 losses had 1 red zone touchdown. The outlier was Air Force. Anytime you play a service academy, like I had to still put them in here, but the stats can look completely different. Like it's a completely type of different football game because the offense they run, the defense they run. So those stats really should be thrown out as far as using them to really prepare. Like you don't really watch. If I'm a coach, I'm not really watching scouting film on a team playing Air Force or Army because they're going to play that team. They might put plays in their playbook just for that team that they'll never use again. Because it's such different offenses. Now, 2 of their 8 wins had 1 red zone touchdown. So 3 of the 4 losses, they only had 1 red zone touchdown. And only 2 of their 8 wins, they had 1 red zone touchdown, which is saying got to stop them from getting into the red zone and got to stop them from scoring touchdowns in the red zone. The next thing, and this can be run and stop the run, but stop the run. We have to stop the run. Reason for that is we need to force them to do what they are not comfortable with, which is winning by throwing the ball. Very uncomfortable with it. Every game they were held under 130 yards. This is Wyoming we're talking about. Every single game they were held under 130 yards, they lost.
Wow.
Every game over 150 yards outside of Texas, they had like a 70-yard run in that game. So that kind of skews it a little bit. But every game over 150 yards outside of Texas were wins. Simple as that. Keep them under 130, you win. They go over 150, they have a better opportunity.
That's a 20 yards. Like, my God.
Game of inches.
20 yards. Man.
Now, this is crazy, CT. They had 0 games with over 20 passing attempts.
I can't. In college
0.
Football? No way.
0.
No way.
0. I'm gonna pull it up just so people can see.
Man,
0.
that's a crazy stat, bro. In these times, like,
bro, 0. Let me pull it up just to make sure I'm not tripping. 0.
That is wow. So they love to run the ball, and they gonna run.
Do they ever love to run the ball? So yeah, let me get this pulled up. But so far, and then the last thing with that, they had 4 games with 12 pass attempts and under. 4 games. 4 games.
So is that because the quarterback is just not a quarterback? Was he hurt and they had somebody else playing quarterback? Bro, that's a crazy stat, bro. Like 0 games.
It's unbelievable.
That is at any level of college football. That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I go back to thinking about Last Chance U, that guy down in Mississippi. I
know.
And I'm sitting like at that level. So I can't imagine at this level. Wow, 0 games with 20 passes. So they don't recruit quarterbacks at Wyoming.
This is crazy.
Man, so that makes me think like,
touchdowns.
and it goes back to how you were saying you got to make them feel uncomfortable, right? So it's like at one point I'm like, well, dang, do we just come out and do we just run the ball, or A, do we come out, score fast? You know, if we get up 21-0 in the first quarter, are we gonna force them out to say, okay, now you got to throw the ball if y'all want to be in this game? Or you think they're gonna show patience and say, hey, we got 3 quarters, we still gonna stay on this horse and we're gonna try to run it and hope it breaks? Because
I mean, I don't know, honestly. That's gonna be a tough one. That is gonna be a tough one. Is this? Let me make sure I'm getting the stat pulled up right. He returns passing.
Because I mean, that's what I'd be curious to see. I mean, because we was looking, like we said, we did the breakdown. That backup quarterback, he can run.
For sure.
And then the starting quarterback, he runs, but he throws more, but he runs. And then after seeing these 2 receivers, I'm thinking like, if the Colorado defensive line could get that pressure, they're going to change that game. Because listening to the head coach of North Dakota State, he's like, hey, I got to use the entire field. So I'm thinking short passes. Hey, let's try to get the ball in space and try to make things happen. Or even like what you call like extended handoffs and stuff like that. I could see, especially with that kind of speed, like, hey, but, we got to be disciplined. Linebackers, they about to be busy. But then what are the chances they try to shock and awe us, right? What are the chances they come out and they try to pass?
So here's what they got listed right here, but they might have the catches, the completions listed. I'm trying to make sure on that. Here it is right here. So this is their stats from last year. They have it under attempts, but that may be catches for receiving. Because versus Nevada, it says 12. And it doesn't let me click on passing. But that may be 20 completions. Let me see a game they had more completions. Fresno State. Wyoming versus Fresno State. Which either way, those were low completions.
Yeah.
Let's see how they listed it here. Okay, yeah. So those were completions because they had that at 19. Versus Fresno State. Yeah, so these are completions. So not attempts, but these are completions. So they had 0 games over 20 completions. As far as, because he had 19 there. Yeah, so 0 games over 20 completions. 4 games with under 12 completions, which even then, that's extremely low for college football. So let's go back and look here. So they had 1 game technically with over 20. The offensive coordinator had already left. So this was their bowl game. He wasn't there. So these are their games. And you can look at the yards. They threw for 300 versus Hawaii. Other than that, we got 149, 201, 136, 31. Versus App State, they had 5 completions for 31 yards. Versus New Mexico, 194, 199, 212. Like, that's not the situation they want to be in. They do not want to be in a situation to throw the football. Now, you can't say maybe that's the quarterback, but North Dakota State looked very similar as far as these numbers. They were not doing it. Now, attempts rushing, 44, 39, 35, 35, 45, 33, 33, 43. Again, Toledo coach wasn't there. That's what they're going to
run. They're going to run.
That's their identity. That's who they are.
And honestly, that's what they're going to have to do, because their weakness plays against our strength. That's secondary. You don't want to have your quarterback throwing against Travis, Preston, Colton, Shiloh. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to have to put that on your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to come in and run. It's going to be for us to set the table. Shedeur, and so you had me panic for a minute, right? Because when you were saying, hey, time of possession, I'm like, oh man, I get it. So if they get the ball first and then they take like 7 minutes to get down and they score, then Shedeur and them's got to come on like, oh man, we go 3 and out.
We got to make something out of this possession. Yeah.
And
then it gets trouble. Yeah,
man,
exactly.
I feel that, bro. Oh man, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
And Buff Sensei 9 says, sounds like a very methodical offense. Yes, very methodical. They're going to motion guys back and forth, switch formations. It's annoying. Yeah, methodical. They're going to do a lot. They're going to do a lot to try to get as much yards every play as possible and keep the football. So let's go to the next key to victory. Start fast. Have to start fast. And more specifically right now, I'm referring to the offense. Force them to play from behind.
Right.
You want teams like this to have to play from behind.
Right.
You can be methodical as you want when it's a tie ball game, when you're down 7, when you're up 3, when you're up 10, you can do whatever you want. Now, when you're down 14, when you're down 21 at half, you do all those motions you want and get 4 yards of carry. You're not going to win that way.
Right.
So
right.
The next thing I had, so score early, get stops early. Next thing, make them change who they are. They never had more than 20 completions in a game for Wyoming. I have it pulled up here. Only one game they had over 212 passing yards. Only one game. And that one game was versus Hawaii. All the other, they only had 2 games, 3 games total over 200 passing yards. 3 over 200. Not over 300, not over 400. That's over 200. So you want to make them change who they are. Put pressure on the quarterbacks to throw the ball downfield.
We've seen that.
When you stop the run, when you get ahead, you're going to force them to try to drive the ball downfield. That's where we expect Colorado to make plays.
Right.
That's where Colton Hood got to step up. DJ McKinney, Travis Hunter, Preston Hodge, Shiloh, Trevor Woods, Ian Massey. Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
That's where everyone gets to step up.
I have to ask you a question though. When I'm seeing all this running attacks and all this running yards and stuff, I got to know. Now, we're not talking like this is not the Chip Kelly, Oregon, where, hey, 2 running plays and we in the end zone type running team. This is the Stanford, Jim Harbaugh. We're going to grind and we're going to grind and grind you until we get, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, because there's different running teams out there. There's some running teams that with that spread, like Oregon, they could just. So that's
and I'm pulling up the stats again, so you can see they had. So over to the left, this is the rushing stats. They 17 longest run, 17 yards, 22. They had some a stretch where they had some big running games, 62, 75, 66, and then 16, and then 17. These are the longest runs for that game, 15, 20. 30, 28, 43, 18. I think it's almost like they don't want to score fast. Like it's in their best interest to not score. It truly is in their best interest to not score fast.
But when you do get in the red zone, you got to score. They're like, we're going to put up points, right?
Absolutely. So another thing that will do is they run a lot of play action, which is when you fake the ball to the running back, especially if you're successful running the ball. You can fake the ball to the running back, bring the defense down, meaning the safeties, the linebackers, they're coming down because they have to get to the run fits and then throwing the ball behind them. That is when they're at their best passing is on play action. You can't play action if you can't run the ball. Coach Prime said it last year. There's play action for what? We can't run the ball. We're gonna fake. We're gonna fake doing something they're already not scared of. For what? Like who does that help? So when you eliminate that, now we're forcing them not only to pass, but to pass away that they don't want to pass, which is just straight up passing.
Right.
Make them go in a shotgun and pass. Like take the run completely out of the game. Here's their losses. This is what I'm talking about starting fast. They had, I believe, 4 losses last year. Here's all of them. At halftime, they were down 21-3 to South Dakota at halftime. Versus North Dakota, they were down 28-17. Versus South Dakota State, they were down 20-9. Versus Montana, they were down 10-6. And every single North Dakota State loss last year, they were trailing at halftime. Going along with what I'm talking about, starting fast, make them play a way that they don't want to play. Wyoming losses at half. Texas, they were down 10-7, and then ended up getting blown out. Air Force, they were up 21-17 at half, Again, Air Force is an outlier.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
different.
completely different game.
Yeah. Mhm.
Boise State, they were down 15-7 at half. Ends up being a blowout. UNLV, they were down 21-14 at half. All their losses, other than Air Force, they were down at half. All of North Dakota State's losses, they were down at half. You got to start early, and you have to take advantage and be effective. So this is just a summary of those points. Win time of possession. You got to win the time of possession. You have to, one, be efficient in their red zone and not let them get to your red zone. Forget not letting them score in the red zone. Don't let them get to the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the run, because you want to stop the run and force them to not be themselves and play outside of what they're comfortable with. And then you got to start fast. Like I said, North Dakota State lost every single game. All of their losses last year, they were trailing at half. All but one of Wyoming's losses last year, they were trailing at half. So you got to start fast, got to get out early, and got to take the lead.
Man, that's whew. So hey, offense, we're gonna need y'all to come in rolling quick.
Gotta come in quick.
So what does that look like? So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Coin tossed. Are you saying Colorado, we want the ball first?
No, not me. I always
want to
defer, but kick.
Because that's how I feel.
The reason I feel that way is because you're always a possession up. Mm-hmm. And what that means is no matter what happens, I know I'm getting the ball at half first.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go into half tied, I know right out of half, I'm going to score off the kickoff, and then I'm up.
Right.
If I go in up a touchdown, then I know I'm going to score at half, go up 2 possessions. If Colorado, I'm guaranteeing this is a guarantee. If Colorado's up at least 10 points at half and gets ball at half and scores, that's the end of the game. If Colorado goes up 17 any point in the second half, the game's over.
Game's over.
And yeah, it's complete because North Dakota State's going to have to
come out there.
I'd be extremely disappointed if North Dakota State was down and was able to pass the ball effectively enough to get back into the game. I'd be extremely disappointed.
Yeah. I think we all would be very, very upset.
Yeah. So yeah, those
are
the keys to victory. Yep. Get active from the kickoff. Chidozie Rain-Buell. Yeah, I expect them to dominate.
The block bully.
Decepticon said, "Damn, I'm missing the live. This is what happens when you change your oil."
You here, bro?
Y'all see where Dallin says Shedeur reminds him of CJ Stroud? No, I haven't seen that yet, but that is awesome. Hard for running teams to come back once down. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So a team like this, you got to start fast. Now, another thing to be prepared for in games like this. Now, I'm not saying this from something that I've seen on film, but I'm just saying this in general. When you play teams where they're the heavy favorite, be prepared for trick plays early.
I do it. You come say it because it makes so much sense. Because they coming in like, we ain't got nothing to lose. So we're going to throw everything at you. Fake punts.
Colorado State. They did that reverse pass for a touchdown. And I texted you when that happened. I said, they're desperate. Yep. I said, that's a good sign if we can stop them because they're pulling out all the tricks early so that they don't get behind early. Boy, don't let Colorado State get behind early. Oh my gosh, all hell's It will try anything to score. Absolutely. So yeah, y'all, these are our keys to victory. If you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, we get some a little different here. We go deep dives. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Right. If you're not on it, make sure you get on Patreon. That's where we have this private live that we're doing as we are speaking. That wasn't supposed to pop up. That's where we have all of our exclusive access. 3 different tiers. We have the early access tier where you get the private lives and the breakdowns, everything. All of these videos, when put in Patreon, they're ad free. So you get no ads, no commercials, any of that. And then you have the private chat. You got the private live watch parties, which we're doing one tonight. Not by the time this is YouTube, definitely not tonight, but we're doing one tonight. We got the Buff Bets tier that has betting. We're doing weekly betting videos. We have betting. We have a betting sponsorship that we talk about in Patreon, so we can hook you up with links and way to get bonus bets, all types of those things fantasy football. We're coming out with our fantasy football rankings. We're helping you guys with drafts. We're going to have our own fantasy football guide. Everything you need to know. And as CT says, that's the only tier where you can get your money back. You can you can get your money back and then more.
You jump on some of these Colorado future bets, you great.
Some lovely ones. Lovely.
Why they still lovely?
Exactly, because we shared all the bets in there early, and
they're
now
changing.
every single one has changed.
Yep.
Not in a good way for you if you're interested in betting on it, but in a bad way. The odds have went down. So if you're in there, want to get on to bets as soon as they come out, not just us alerting, but it's a community of other people doing the same thing, our other Patreon supporters, so you get everything early. And we can't pull a Stanford. Can't pull a Stanford.
No, we can't pull a Stanford, man.
And yeah, I'm happy this is a first game. Some people are like, oh, well, this is too hard of a test for I think it's the perfect first game. It's a team that's been proven to upset FBS teams in the past, but talent wise, player by player, they cannot match up with CU. So this is one where CU is really going to have to lock down and make things happen now. That's what we're doing the live watch party on tonight. This episode we watch the Stanford.
I think it's I think it's a great game because I think I'll let getting to go against a team that likes to run the ball a lot, all that aggression you've been playing each other. Now you're ready to hit. You get to go against a team that's gonna bang. So you know what I'm saying? I think it's a great team.
It's a perfect one.
Great game.
Perfect first game. I'm joking. We're not watching Stanford. I'm joking. Not watching Stanford. But yeah, so that's what we got for North Dakota State for the keys to victory. In Patreon, we're going to have more videos as far as North Dakota State scout. We've already covered their quarterback, their safety. We've covered their receiver, Rajah Nelson, and now we're getting ready to work to running backs. We're going to go over their defense. We're going to go over their cornerbacks. We're going to go over their play types, what they like in certain situations, and everything. So there's a lot coming. So make sure that you guys are tuned in.
That play type breakdown is crazy. I seen a glimpse of it. I said, "Oh my God."
Awesome. So yeah, we will be back, y'all, with a lot more stuff. And yeah, CT, what you got to tell them?
Okay, to evolve. Who's next?
Who's next? Do your words match your video? Yeah, this for my boy TKL, CT the fan. Yeah, we on that buff train, man. Yeah, them boys, they put it down. I watch them every day. Hey, they gonna put you on the pillow, but they gonna put you down there where you belong. They ain't gonna care for you. Nah, they ain't gonna care for you. Yeah, they gonna love on you. They gonna tell you what to do to get yourself better. It's on you, baby. Yeah, them my boys. Well, y'all keep doing y'all thing, baby.